This is the case for my Adler Model.32 from 1938, and I've recently just refurbished the baseboard, which will be in a separate video, but I just wanted to highlight the before issues and hopefully chart the progress as I go along. On the top of the case, it's not in bad condition, the lock just needs polishing and cleaning up. I'm going to remove the repairer's or supplier's little tag there and clean that up and re-stitch the handle. The handle's in really good condition, the leather. It's just the stitching that needs to be done, and clean these clasps and parts of the hardware on the lock system. Overall, it doesn't look in bad condition, but actually it's very tatty, and the concerns I've got are for the corners, the fabric's coming away. Again, very tatty along the bottom, which I would expect. But the main concern is these two sections here. This bit doesn't look so bad, but this whole back piece needs to come off, because this side, you can see, is slightly cracked and it's coming away. So I've decided now I'm going to strip all of this fabric off. Now that I've had a chance to practice laying new fabric down, and I've got some waxed cotton that I intend to use to recover this box or this case. So my plan is to strip all of this off, assess the quality of the wood, any cracks and splits, and get that fixed so that the integrity of the case is maintained. The inside has got a lot of wear and tear. It's very tatty, and it's got these gouges in the back, and the thing I don't understand is the top half of the case is almost in perfect condition, but the bottom half, clearly at some point the machine wasn't fixed to the board properly and perhaps had been rattling around in there. But when you see the back of the actual Adler, which I've got other videos on, it's immaculate. There's not a scratch on it. So I'm really not sure how it got so badly scratched on the back of that machine. Maybe this case was from another machine, but I doubt it, because it fits perfectly with the Adler in here. So this is just a quick before video showing all the kind of main issues. It's quite tatty, and I'm going to have a go as an attempt to completely strip everything off this, and I hope you'll find it interesting as I go along. So that's the Adler case there. Thank you. So if you've ever wondered how they fit these locks in place, that was quite a job getting these pins out. I don't know if you can see very carefully there, but it's like a split pin. Let me see if I can zoom it. There you go. It's like a split pin, and just 4 of those, and obviously split on the other side. And they were a devil to get off, because they were hammered quite well into the wood. But I used 2 screwdrivers and gently levered it off, and managed to get it off. And you can see the lock's not in bad condition. Bit of rust, which you'll clean up. And I'm going to attempt to make a key for that at some point, because I've made keys before by filing down old keys. So that'll be a later project. That needs cleaning up inside there. It's all dusty. But managed to get that off. And the next thing to do now is to remove this handle. And I suspect that it's going to be the same, some kind of split pin underneath, which was exactly the same as the 4 feet on the bottom. They look like this. I just dig one out. That's also like a split pin there. So I think even they would probably be easy to replace with new ones. I'm glad I took it off, because which side is it? One of these two. Yeah, this one. This is really loose, and there's a split running along there. So that, really needs fixing, and I don't think it'd be too difficult to fix that. So next step is I'm going to remove the handle, but you can see I've already removed a lot of the fabric. It came off really easily, and so once I get the handle off, then I can properly sand it down and put some wood glue in and fix the weak parts. Okay, thank you. So I've just managed to get the handle off with a bit of help from my partner, because it would have been very, very tricky on my own. Again, has a pin like this holding the fixing there. And the handle, excellent condition. That will look really nice restitched. Burnish the edges, that will look lovely. So handle, super. But I'm already thinking I'm going to replace the metal fixings on here, because you can buy those new nowadays to replace those rusty old ones. Because I really don't think it's going to clean up that well. So I will be searching for some new versions of those. And then when I fit them, depending on what the fitting's going to be like, I'm going to possibly glue in a plate, a very thin metal plate behind where they fix on, because I had to do a little bit of gouging to get those split pins out. Obviously all this paper is going to be stripped off inside there, and then I will fix that wood up and get it nice and strong again. So yeah, that was a bit of a job taking that off, but that's every metal part taken off now, and it's just about preparing the box and fixing it. So the next step, you can see, to get the remnants of the glue and the cloth off, I'm just lightly dampening the wood, very lightly. I don't want to saturate it, and it literally peels off with that scraper there. I can't demonstrate it because I'm just holding the camera at the moment, but you just leave it just a minute or so, and then you can literally scrape the glue residue off. So I'm very pleased it's coming off quite cleanly at the moment. I think the tricky bit is going to be inside the case with all the paper, but you use a similar process there. It's just hit on the outside, there's nice big flat surfaces, so it's a lot easier. Finally finished scraping and removing the excess glue and residue from the Adler case. You can see it's turned out very well. I'm quite happy with that. It needs to dry off a little bit, as I obviously had to dampen the wood slightly to loosen up the glue residue. And here we have all the associated hardware that's come off the machine. I'm probably going to look at replacing these fixings here with new ones, and I'm pretty sure you can still get those. Obviously you couldn't reuse these, they're all bent and mangled, but I might use them as for the diameter. I'm sure if you buy these fixings, they'll have their own fixings with it. Different, maybe a little bolt or something with a washer on the back. These corner pieces are all rusty. They just need a good clean up, and I think we can reuse those. They're tiny little pins to hold them in. Again, the feet, this style, you just put them through the holes and bend them. So they might polish up, or I might, replace those. And I think it's possible to get those nowadays anyway. But the two straps are amazing. They look brand new, so they'll stay as they are. The lock system, again, I've got to clean that up, but I will replace the tops with bolts and not these tiny little split pin things. Again, they can't be used again, they're too brittle. And finally, the lovely leather handle. I like doing leather sewing and stitching, so I'll take all of that stitching off and restitch it again, and burnish and polish up the sides. It's going to look amazing, I think, when that's finished. It's a really lovely original handle. So that's the end of the first stage. The only thing left to do now, will it focus? No, is to scrape everything off the inside of the case. It's still got all the paper on inside, and I'll do that maybe tomorrow if I have time. Again, it'll be a case of dampening the paper and gently scraping it, but I think it's going to be awkward because inside of it there's lots of awkward shapes. You can see there. So I think it might be fiddly more than difficult. So hopefully that will turn out nicely, and we'll see how that is when I finish that one.